I can tell you if you're going to go bald. I know the answers. I have the answers. They're in here. Imagine if I went on national tour and I came to a bookstore, I don't know, whatever the venue is, and I'm sitting at a desk and I'm wearing my cool sweater and collared shirt underneath it, and I'm signing autographs for a book I just wrote about this, I don't know. And you come up to me and say, Nick, hey, I love your videos. I was wondering, could you tell me, you're looking at me right now, Nick, can you tell me if I'm going to go bald? Can you tell me? And that's how people treat my videos. They watch my videos, they email me, Instagram me, send me a message through Twitter, and they say, Nick, I love your videos. Can you do me a favor? Will you let me send you a picture so you can tell me if I'm gonna go bald or not? And here's the answer I give. I don't respond. I don't respond to people who send me those messages. It's not because I don't care. It's not because I don't appreciate you watching my videos. It's because of this reason. The more you watch my videos, you begin to understand Nick Shell doesn't care about preventing hair loss. All he really cares about is helping guys deal with it, because he sees more value in that than trying to stop or prevent it. And hey, if we ever find that there's some kind of obvious way to prevent it or cure it, you'll probably hear it from someone other than me. I have more value on YouTube because I'm not focused on that. I'm here to help people deal with it. And so let's go back to what I just said. I mean, doesn't that kind of sound cold? That here's this guy, he makes videos to young guys to talk about receding hairlines and hair loss, and he's saying, yeah, I could tell you if you're gonna go bald, but I'm not going to. What's up with that, Nick? That seems kind of rude. Okay, think of it this way. Think of it as tough love. Think of it, I'm some sort of older brother, uncle, father figure, however you need to see that. And I actually care about you so much that I don't want to simply give you that answer and give you that confirmation. Why? Because I believe in teaching you how to do this thing yourself. Because based on my teachings, it's pretty easy to do. And I think a lot of times when people ask me, Nick, am I gonna lose my hair? That's not the question they're asking. The question they're asking is, Nick, I think I'm balding, so what do I do about it? How can I stop it? How can I prevent it? And up until about a year ago, I would respond to people when they reached out to me. And they'd show me the picture of their hairline, I'd look at them, and if it did appear they were Norwood 2 at age 20 or whatever it was, I would tell them that. Oh, it looks like Norwood 2 to me. And then what's the follow-up? They'd say, well, is there any way to stop or prevent this? Is there any cure? And because that's the real question people want to know. They want to know if they're going bald so that they can know how to solve it. But ultimately, a lot of people watch my videos, even though they're not experiencing any hair loss, they're thinking, well, what about in 10 years if I start having receding hairline and balding? Then what? I want to prepare for that. So in case you're new here, I'm going to tell you, that saying that catch a fish for a man and give it to him for his dinner, and he'll come back the next day and ask for another fish. But teach that same man to fish, and he'll catch his own fish, right? And I believe in teaching you to catch your own fish. So based on my teachings, it's this simple. If you want to know if you are losing your hair or have a receding hairline, it's very simple. The next time you go get your hair cut, barber or whoever it is, you just ask them straight up. Say, hey, do you think that I'm starting to experience male pattern baldness? Do you think my hairline's receding? Do you see thinning? And even see something like this. You're an expert. You do this all day long. You would know. What do you think's going on up here? Just ask it very casually, and they're going to probably tell you. Don't ask them, well, what do I do about it? Because there's not a cure for hair loss. If there was, I wouldn't be relevant. Ooh, that's gold. Put an asterisk next to that. If there was a cure for hair loss, I wouldn't be relevant. I wouldn't have people watching my videos if there was a cure for hair loss. And I think subconsciously I know that, and that's why I'm careful to not make it seem like there is, other than testing certain products on myself, just if nothing else to prove that they don't work. But if they do work, then I'd be happy to be the person who shared that message with the world. So yeah, you would ask your barber. I don't even recommend asking the doctor. I recommend asking the barber, because they have to deal with cutting men's hair, that those men that have receding hairlines, they have to be able to work around it. They know. That's what they do for a living, is they're assessing men's hairlines as they know how to cut around it and to deal with that and give them the best hairstyles accordingly. That's step one. Ask your barber if you have a receding hairline. If you're starting to ask them. They're the true expert. I'm not an expert. I'm just a YouTuber. The next step, you talk to your mother and ask her, hey, I need a photo of myself when I was 1 year old. Not 1.5, not 9 months, not when I was an infant, not when I was 2. It has to be on my first birthday. You're my mother, you love me, you care about me. You took a lot of pictures of me when I was young, and I know there's gotta be a picture of my first birthday party, first birthday. As my mom, you cared so much about me that you definitely took several pictures of me on my first birthday. I wanna see those pictures. You look at the picture, you look at your hairline, you look at your density, you look at your hair situation, and then you fast forward, and that's you at age 35. And I've done multiple videos about this. I've demonstrated this with myself when I was 35 and showed that I had the same hairline at age 1, at age 35. And if you're already starting to show major signs of receding and balding by age 35, that probably means you're gonna be balding the rest of your life. And that shows up when you're 1 year old. Does this work 100% of the time? No. This tends to be a pattern that works most of the time. So what's the third thing? Well, the last thing is, if you're really wanting to figure this out yourself, as I'm teaching you to fish, then what I would suggest is you look in the mirror and think, how old am I? Am I 18 years old yet? And then look at your face and think, if I want to, can I grow a full connected beard that connects from the sideburns all the way to the chin, and then the mustache connects? Can I have a full beard? And if the answer is yes, then ask yourself, self, as I'm looking at you in the mirror, am I 18 yet? If the answer is no, you're not 18 yet, then you're most likely to be the guy that's losing his hair earlier in life, especially in conjunction with that 1 year old photo showing that you already had a high, fuller forehead when you were 1 year old. Now, if you ask yourself that question, can I grow a full beard? And the answer is no, I can't. And you're over 18, then the odds in your favor, you're gonna keep your hair longer, because there's definitely absolutely a connection when it comes to hair loss and your ability to grow facial hair. And the easiest way to prove this to you is for you to spend a couple summers in Asia like I did. I was a teacher in Thailand as well as Korea. And those guys were fascinated by the amount of body hair I had, my arms, my face. And I realized how hairy I am just by default. And then I noticed that their men were in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and a lot of them had most of their hair, and that's not that way in America. So that's when I realized that. So don't email me, don't Instagram me, don't send me a tweet. I care about you enough to actually help you, not to email you back and get all this high anxiety. What do I do now, Nick? What do I do? Nope, we're not gonna go there. I care so much about you that I'm gonna teach you to be independent. Ask your barber if you have a receding hairline. Then back that up by looking at your 1 year old photo and see what your hairline looked like, because that's a projection of you at age 35. And then lastly, can you grow a full beard? If you can and you're under the age of 18, you're more likely to go bald earlier in life. If you still can't grow the beard and you're 18 or older, there's a good chance you're gonna hang on to most of your hair most of your life. That is my method. That is what I teach. Those things are not 100%. And I'm okay with that, because it's part of my personality that it's not important for me to be right all the time. I'm not someone who debates and that sort of thing. What I look at is patterns. I'm someone who likes to look at patterns to figure out, in most cases, how could we find a predictable outcome here? And in my years of doing these videos, I have found that most people realize that these things add up for them. Now, what I'm not interested in is someone in the comments right now, I mean, there's about 5 of you tempted to say it. Well, Nick, that's all wrong because I know this one guy. Nope. You're talking about the exception of the rule. The exception, if you're going to bring up the exception to the rule, you're actually giving my theories more credit, because you're saying, well, Nick, I know of a case that's not true. Well, I know most cases are true. And that's why I'm talking about it, because it's a theory and a pattern. So while there 25% of people may be exceptions to the rule, if most abide by that, if most of it's true, then wouldn't that be something we focus on, not the exception of the rule? I'm Nick Shell. I care about you. And I want to actually help you. And I know this has been tough love for you today. But if I didn't care about you, I wouldn't be honest with you. And that's why I'm being honest with you. Comments belong right here.